Ladies and gentlemen, hello. I am your host, Taylor Field, and I'm here because it is the episode 3 spoilers review of the Chucky series. That is right. But before we get to that, a couple of plugs. First plug, we gotta start with our GeekVerse.ca is our home base. GeekVerse is our Twitter. GeekVerse is our Facebook. And then be sure to check us out on our Patreon, because if you check us out on our Patreon, you get early ad-free episodes. Okay. Now, the big hunka Extra Life. We are less than 2 weeks away from Extra Life, our 24-hour charity stream for the BC Children's Hospital. We are hoping to get our goal of $2,500. We have a stretch goal of $3,000. However, if we hit that $2,500 mark, this hair that's just so messy, I can't take it anymore. I need to have this cut so bad. It's going to be cut if we hit that $2,500, but we need your help. If we hit the $3,000, well, let me tell you, Jessica is going to just her hair, and we'll have 2 people with shaved heads. It'll be fabulous, absolutely fabulous. So, all that being said, what else have we got? We got a newscast. It's going to be coming up like the same day, or the next day after this, back to back probably. Oh, what else do we have? We have another newscast that we did earlier in this week with just me and Travis. And we also have some upcoming reviews. I think Last Night in Soho is coming up this weekend for a review. And then we have our Dune review. You can check that out. That was an awesome time, awesome experience. I'm trying to think, what else do we got? DC fandom coverage. I think that is it off the top of my head. So, without further ado, let's get into some Chucky. So, non-spoilers first, just to start us off. This episode was just great. It was such a step up over the last episode. And maybe I'm being a little biased because of certain events that unfolded. But I thought it was... I really enjoyed it. There was definitely a lot more development in this episode overall. And particularly, and this isn't much of a spoiler because we know where this was going. But we got a lot more development with Charles Lee Ray and his kind of trajectory and storyline. And it's just a new twist that they've kind of taken on, where how they're kind of like steering things along, I guess. And I'm really enjoying it. I like how this story is being told. And there's still lots of questions I have that I feel like some are getting answered in the show. And obviously we're only 3 episodes in and we've got many more to go. But obviously Halloween is over, so we're past that. And it's funny because it's nice that it parallels kind of with the seasons of right now. Obviously Halloween hasn't come yet, but it's this weekend, so the spacing is very much similar. Just a lot of things happened, and there's just a classic little tidbits of score in there that I'm not gonna say like iconic from like original Chucky score, but just like some good little like moments of score that I appreciate. There was a lot of cinematography and a way that they went about filming Chucky doing certain things. I actually really enjoyed it. The puppeteers are just absolutely legendary for this show. It's just cheesy, classy, not classy, that's not the right word. Cheesy, corny to a degree, but not in a bad way. Like the puppeteers are doing a great job at how they move Chucky around. I really do appreciate the effort that they've gone to and the length they've gone to execute making Chucky the way he is and moving around. But yeah, I think that's it for non-spoilers. So we're gonna get into some spoilers now. So 3, 2, 1, go watch the episode. Bam. Now, a lot of people died. And I say that because I'm basing it off the assumption that they have. See, with Lexi, we're not 100% sure. I can't remember the chap's name who obviously was trying to hook up with her. But I can confirm he is dead. But overall, Chucky is still kind of instructing Jake to go out and murder Lexi, taking him under his wing. And this kind of coincides with us getting more flashbacks of Charles when he was a kid and him going through his transition into a killer. I really am enjoying this origin story in here because it's at the same time shaping up into Jake as an origin story and him becoming a killer. And again, it's sad, and I don't condone killing or anything like that. This is just fairly tough for the show. But seeing how Chucky is trying to coax the killer mentality out of Jake, like, it's definitely working. And there's some cheesy scenes, of course, when Jake's like holding the weapon up and Lexi turns around and it's like, okay, well, you know, you're not going to do it, waiting for the right time. But I have to say, it was extremely bold. And I thought Chucky would have given Jake a little bit better advice, but there's people walking everywhere in this park. And Jake literally goes out. She's running. He thinks he's going to catch her, which he catches her and pulls a knife out. But it's not even Alexi, it's his cousin. It just blows my mind that you'd have, again, he's emotionally compromised. I'm trying to remember that because in this scenario, if you're going in to kill someone, there's an open park, people everywhere, and he's holding his kitchen knife out, Michael Myers style. And that's just ruthless. So thankfully, no one noticed him with the knife because that would have been real bad with what happens next. It would have incriminated him for sure. Needless to say, we got the teacher back involved, and she is made aware of what happened in the previous episode with the Halloween party. So she basically pulls Lexi's parents and Jake's aunt and uncle in to discuss this. And I'm actually really happy that they did this. I don't feel like I don't feel like that's something that is addressed a lot in shows, bringing in the parents to kind of get onto the playing field a little bit and understand what's going on. So I really, really do appreciate them taking the time to give us a scene with the parents who are both concerned and seeing what is going on, and to see the video again of Lexi portraying Jake's dead father, the brother of Jake's uncle, which created a very enticing, interesting dynamic between them. So I'm curious to see how that connection relationship is going to develop, progress forward, especially now that I'm assuming Lexi, I have a hunch she's alive still. I feel like they wouldn't have killed multiple kids off in this episode. I'm just gonna say now my prediction is Lexi is still alive in the next episode. The house is definitely burning down. The kids, I'm hoping, will look up and see the flame and get the hell out of there. One thing to note, so Lexi went over to apologize for the video and everything to Jake in exchange for Jake to give Lexi Chucky. So he wasn't going to, but then when he got coaxed by Chucky, he decided, okay, gonna do it. Chucky decided he's gonna take matters into his own hands and pull off this great escapade. So when Chucky's delivered to Lexi, it was primarily for Lexi's sister because she's not doing very well. She just is in a state of mind where she needs Chucky to just continue on, basically. So she gets Chucky, and Lexi's parents go out, and then Lexi starts throwing a party. And it's one of those parties where everyone just like me right now, you have the headphones on and you don't hear anything outside. They're not playing music in the living room, but they're playing music through the synced headphones, which is cool. But I feel like that's much more of an individualized experience. I've never been in that scenario where I got to enjoy that in a club with everyone, but I've watched videos. I mean, I'm curious if you think it's a great time, let me know. I've never been, so I can't really comment on that. But anyways, so they're all in their own little bubbles and worlds, just going at it and dancing and stuff. And you get a bit of a dynamic where this guy, it's the guy from earlier who died. I can't remember his name. He's basically big time flirting with Lexi, and obviously Lexi's boyfriend is not one bit happy about that. So with that, I mean, that's why I do think like, okay, there's only going to be like the one death, and that's going to be this guy that was obviously hitting on Lexi, putting the moves on. So the party is going on. Lexi goes to tuck in her little sister, who has Chucky. She is snugged into bed, tucked in. And oh, man. Guys, the freaking one-liners that Chucky drops just absolutely kill me. I replayed this like 3 times on the episode just to listen to it and soak it in. But like Chucky, he leans over to Lexi's sister and is like, I'm going to kill your sister. Do you want to come? And she's like, no, I'm too tired. And he says, you snooze, you lose. Okay, I know, super punny. The puns are out of this world coming out of Chucky's mouth. That's not what was actually killing me dying laughing. he, the bed is so tucked in that it shows him squirming to try and get out. And he can't get out. It's tucked so tight. So he just sits there or lays there and he just says snug like a fucking bug. I don't know why that just jived with me. It just was hilarious. So he sticks the kitchen knife through the sheet, cuts it, and gets out. I don't know why I'm laughing. It's just freaking hilarious. It tickled my funny bone. So he goes off, and that's when it caught me by surprise because the boy came out and then he said something like Lexi and stabbed him in the leg, and then he fell, and then he's like, oh shit, oh well, kind of just acknowledging he got the wrong kill, but he's going in to get the kill anyways, and he starts stabbing the boy all crazy, and the boy looks over and is like freaking out because he sees it's a doll. Kids downstairs are completely oblivious, as per every horror scenario. So after the boy dies, Chucky runs off to go and finally get Lexi. And that's when Lexi is in, I guess it looks like a bedroom, theater room of some kind. But I mean, primarily a bedroom, spare room, I guess. But she's in there anyways. She's smoking up a joint and she sees little good guy shoes behind the curtain. So she goes over to the curtain and basically goes to see what's going on and lifts the curtain up, and there's just the shoes there. This is when Chucky full on sprints from behind, jumps on her, and it just I love how the cinematographers they do this, the puppeteers, the way she's screaming and Chucky's little legs are like dolphin flip, like kicking back and forth. It's the most adorably scary, most terrifying thing that you can see is this doll choking her out, and his little legs are kicking back and forth. He's got the strength of a full-grown man. So she manages to get him off of her, and he picks up the knife. Her joint went wide. The fire is kick-starting up everywhere, so the house is literally burning down now. But we don't see her die. So I'm wondering if Chucky is per se going to leave her alive to suffer with this kind of punishment, and that wouldn't necessarily fit with his MO because Chucky is a killer. He kills people. He doesn't let people really suffer in real time for what their actions create, but so be it. This is what we're dealt with. So I'm curious because I do believe that they won't kill off more than one character at this time per episode. It seems to fit the kind of the general trajectory. So it's interesting to see kind of these developments and these things come forward, because it definitely seems like Jake is super more gung-ho on killing. We were going to get the whole Charles Lee Ray into the doll scenario, but again, we got to the point where the end of the episode showed Charles' dad gets murdered when he's a boy by this murderer. Charles then runs upstairs with his mom, the mom pulls him to hide in the closet. He kills his mom, and a serial killer shows up, and this is when the serial killer kind of has this moment with Charles and acknowledges him for what he did, gives him a little bit of advice, and then carries on his way. And this is the starting foundation of Charles Lee Ray as the killer. So it was very interesting to see this unfold. Again, this is all stuff we never got to see before. So it's very interesting, and I don't want that to sound sick, but it's interesting in the sense where we get to see the development of this character and the development of this villain. We have these characters like Jason Voorhees, who drowns. We have characters like Michael Myers, who killed his sister and was shut out from the world. All these different scenarios with these origin stories. So now we get to see Chucky. Aside from Chucky just being, voodoo into a doll, we get to see this is the same kind of route like Michael Myers style. He was a killer when he was a kid. So I think that's interesting to see that unfold in the storyline. I'm trying to think what else in this episode. We get to see Charles Lee Ray's gravestone is in this same town, same city. So this is where Jake was at he knew what was going on with Chucky. He knew that things were not going to go right, but Jake was at the graveyard, just condolences to his mom, just really emotionally compromised. And then we also got to see his friend. Gosh, I can't remember his name either. Gosh. Oh man, I'm blanking right now. But the police officer's son, he is the one who hosts the podcast show, and he's rolling through recordings. So obviously he's recording Jake Wheeler, but not in a sense to incriminate him. More or less, it seems like he's trying to vindicate him and prove his innocence. So I'm curious to see how that'll go and progress down the line. But other than that, we just got a lot of good character development. We got to see Chucky full on moving around when he was stalking Lexi in the house, and it showed him walking behind her stalking, and then it just cut to like the scene where all the people come into the house and he just kind of veers off. I love the puppeteer's work. It was just really, really well done. I'm trying to think what else that there is, but I can't think of anything. Yeah, just we're on the right track. This is a great episode. A lot of backstory dished out for Charles Lee Ray. A lot more progression with Jake kind of conflicted on becoming more of like Chucky and becoming a killer. And we still don't know the end goal of Chucky, Charles Lee Ray, and how Andy is coming into the story yet. That is my all-time, like, I want to know what's going on. The fact that we have ties now to Charles Lee Ray's body being buried here, that adds a lot more depth to the story here, but in a way that I'm still trying to figure it out. There must be something here in the city that has pulled these forces together, and I can't wait to see what becomes of it. So I think that's all I got. Again, relatively, this is a short review, but it was a good episode. It was an awesome episode, and I'm loving the show. It's freaking awesome. So that's all for me. Yeah. So until next time, I hope you enjoyed this episode. I can't wait to be back next week. Wednesdays are Chucky night until Hawkeye comes out. We'll be making the jump probably to Tuesday nights. But yeah, so until next time, I'm Taylor Field. Be sure to tune in to our newscast coming up soon, and have a good one. See you in the search bar.